Coincidence theorists, we're all in for a treat here. About to call the governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan. We have so much to talk about, but before I make that phone call, let's revisit the coincidences surrounding the Rite Aid shooting in Maryland of September 2018. Just put out a video on this. Got some additional information. Also have to make one small correction. But let's go through this one more time. Today's shooting's in Aberdeen, Maryland, near Perryman, Maryland, and Harford County. We'll start with the Aberdeen, Maryland part. You write this address on an envelope, Aberdeen, MD, the Maryland abbreviation, and in the language of Gematria, that language that catches all the coincidences, it sums to 44. Just like sheriff, like officer, like military, like shooting, like gunfire. And look how these officers are dressed one more time, just like they're in the military. Ever since 9/11, ever since the boogeyman in the cave got us with the perfect demolition of the New York skyscrapers, the police just becoming more and more like military. They got the fatigues, they got the assault rifles, they got the armored vehicles. It's almost like they're trying to intimidate us. Also, with regards to this 44 thing, let's keep in mind that MD, the initials, M's the 13th letter. Coincidentally, 13 breaks down to 4. D's the 4th letter. So MD is 4-4 in numerology for one more 44. And we're going to get to how this comes on Larry Hogan's exact day of being on office for 44 months. Kind of like how yesterday, coincidentally, the shooting was 44 days from Scott Walker's birthday. That was in Wisconsin. Kind of like how it was synced up perfectly with Tom Wolf, the governor in Pennsylvania, the shooting in Masontown. The Masons, they use this coincidental language of letters and numbers. All the police officers, coincidentally, a bunch of Freemasons. It's all just a coincidence. They were sure to mention this shooting was near Baltimore, which has that Gematria 58, like Blue Lives Matter, like Freemasonry, like secret society. One more time, today's date, September 20th, 18. Date with 47 numerology, Maryland 47, policeman 47, cop 47, government 47, authority 47. They're mentioning that the shooting's close to Perryman in Aberdeen. Why are they putting in this detail? Probably just for one more coincidence. Perryman 47, 47 degrees on the Freemason compass. Again, today has 67 numerology as well, which is the 19th prime. The Masons have that motto, order out of chaos. Chaos 19. As for the 67, Killer 67, it's a story of a killer on the loose in the pharmacy. The Rite Aid, not unlike the Scottish rites. The Freemasons are into alchemy, which is about changing mental states. What do these stories do for your mental state? Do they bring you up? Do they make you want to go into the Rite Aid and get a few more antidepressants? Anyway. Killer 67, Alchemy 67, Freemasonry 67. With regards to this being a drugstore 46, also like chaos. Again, yesterday we were watching out for that date because it was the 19th and a date with 46 numerology. What do you know? 2 shootings. We're going to get to why 3 shootings in 2 days matters. How they're all centered around this same riddle, the Scottish Rite, which has its headquarters in Washington, D.C., the feds on the scene at all 3 shootings. The ATF on the scene at all 3 shootings. What are the odds? Man, the coincidences, they just stack. One more time, Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, 127, like drugstore. We got a drugstore shooting today in Maryland. Freemasonry also 139, the 34th prime. Maryland also 34. Now, here's my favorite. I made a mistake in the last video. I thought it was Hartford, but there's no T in there. It's Harford, which makes it even better. Because now it's just so transparent. Harford 119, Fraternal Order of Police 119, Larry Hogan equals 119. That's the governor in Maryland. And today's his 119th day of being 62 years old, and he's the 62nd governor. I can't wait to call this guy. Oh, I hope I get better reception than I did from Scott Walker's office. And I might have to call Tom Wolf back too, because he was closed yesterday when I tried to reach out. Harford. This number's good. 43, policeman 43, Masonic 43. The shooting was near Perryman, another 43. Again, active shooter 191. 191's the 43rd prime. It's also 191 weeks since the governor took office. Isn't that nice? 191, the 43rd prime. They just can't get away from it. 3 dead from the gunman in the Rite Aid. Just look at the overlap. 29-25. It's also a date with 29 numerology. By the way, Larry equals 29, so does Masonic. Coincidence, coincidence. Now, somebody caught this. 3 shootings in 2 days, all of these Scottish Rite riddles and all of them, including one of them being in Masontown. But look at Maryland and Scotland in Gematria. Overlap, overlap, overlap. 3 out of 4. Not bad. And I should mention that where Scotland's 25, if you use the S exception, remember S is the 19th letter, it's the only letter you have to reduce twice. 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. In this cipher, the S is worth 1. You can make S worth 10, which means plus 9 more, so Scotland can also be 34 like Maryland. You see? I should mention that the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry took off in France. France has the Gematria 47 with the alphabetic order. Notice Maryland and Scotland, like the 47 degrees on the Freemason compass. It's all 47. Washington, D.C., the land of 47. Everything laid out around the number 47. Just helped some people win some money this weekend in the NFL, saying why the Colts would upset the Redskins, why it was all about 47. Andrew Luck picking up his 47th career win in D.C. Luck equals 47. He was born in D.C. Yeah, you got it right. This coincidence code, it can even help you win football games. See through sports rigging. The coincidence miracles. So anyway, 3 dead in this shooting, 2 injured. 3 dead and 2 wounded. 3 and 2. 3 shootings in 2 days. Look at the word Scottish, 32. Look at the word America, 32. A nation founded by Scottish Rite Freemasons. You know? The most Jewish branch of Freemasonry, 2 of those shootings yesterday during the time of Yom Kippur, the most important Jewish holy day. Funny how those Jewish folks always know how to stay home from work on Jewish holy days. You know, think they might have some insider information. Don't forget America, July 4th, 1776. 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6 equals 32. That 32nd degree of the Scottish Rite, very special. It's the one right before you get to the 33rd degree. And it's quite impressive to get your 32nd degree. Manly P. Hall, the Freemason, he waited 47 years to go from his 32nd degree to his 33rd degree. And it's Manly P. Hall that I owe thanks to, because in his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, is where I learned this code from. Well, at least half of it. So here's the man who caught the nice riddle here with the 3 shootings in 2 days. EcoR fan, thank you so much. He points out that Aberdeen, where the shooting is today, is also the name of a town in Scotland, which is absolutely true. A little more Scottish tributes. It didn't actually take place in Perryman. It took place in Aberdeen, but it was near Perryman. That's the way they're reporting it. In Aberdeen, near Perryman. But makes a lot of great observations here. Harford County, 66. Rite Aid, 66. Mass shooting, 66. Points out that the Army's nearby, military. That's what we live in. We live in the Masonic military police dictatorship. Derek comes through and did a little additional research before I could get to it. Derek beat me to the punch. He measured from the governor's birthday. Larry, or not the birthday, but the day he came into office. Look at that man. What do you think he does for a living? Certainly eats a lot. Anyway, January 21st, 2015, the day he took office, to today is 191 weeks and 1 day later. Active shooter, 191. Also 74. Larry, 74. Notice the overlap with Masonic and Larry. They got that new TV show, Lodge 49, about Freemasonry on AMC. The leader of the lodge, his name's Larry Loomis. Larry. LL. He's the leader of the Lynx Lodge. Lynx has that Gematria 33, like Masonry, like secrecy, like order. L's the 12th letter. In numerology, 12's 1 plus 2 is 3. So LL, Larry Loomis, 33. Larry Loomis, also 58, like Freemasonry, like secret society. The point is, they code out everything that comes through the media. The news, the TV shows, the movies, the sports games. This ritual is their thing. And by learning this code, you can see through all of the Masonic operations that surround us in this world. The Masonic matrix, if you will. This code will make you Neo of the Masonic matrix. So if you count the full span from the day you took office, January 21st, 2015, to today, September 20th, that's 3 years and 8 months. In 3 years, there's 36 months. 36 months plus 8 more months is 44 months, our shooting number. You know, always 44. Again, yesterday, the Wisconsin shooting, the first one, 44 days from the governor's birthday. Then you had the Masontown shooting, Masontown 44. It was 59 days from the governor's birthday. The reason that matters is because Freemasonry sums to 59 in Hebrew and in English. 59 is the 17th prime. The word Mason equals 17. Modern Freemasonry began in 1717 on June 24th, a date with 47 numerology, 6 plus 24 plus 17, 47. The governor, Tom Wolfe in Pennsylvania, is the 47th governor. See how these numbers flow? So now this part just killed me right here. Larry Hogan equals 119, right? Like Harford. And from his birthday, which is May 25th, to the shooting is his 119th day. Also 17 weeks. Mason. Or did I say 119 weeks? I mean 119 days. This is his 119th day of being 62 years old. He is, one more time, the 62nd governor. He was born in 56. That means he turned 62 this year. Mason 62. You know, coming on the back of the Masontown shooting. Just look at it. Harford 119. Yesterday, the shootings on Yom Kippur, as I predicted they would be. Just like I predicted a year ago, the same thing would happen. And we got the Vegas shooting. Well, 119, big number. All-seeing eye. This is coincidence to impact the mind's eye of the masses. Orthodox 119. Star of David 119. Larry Hogan 119. It just couldn't be any more perfectly lined up. And as I write about in my book, Letters and Numbers, which is linked in the description of every video, you know, there's a chapter that's over 100 pages long, just one chapter alone, on false flag, coincidental shootings over the years, and how they're always synced up by the same numerical code and always just connected to the governor of the state, just every single time. Now we got 3 more proofs in 2 days. My goodness, I could just write another book about the last 2 days. More predictions correct, more rituals fulfilled, more validation for the book. Can you guys reach out in the comments who aren't buying the book? If I raise the price to $20, will you buy it then? Is it you're not buying it because it's $5 so you think it's cheap? I made it $5 so you don't have an excuse not to buy it. I have all these people complaining that it's too cheap. Maybe I do need to raise it to $20 because not enough people are buying at the $5 rate and I don't get it. You don't want the most important knowledge in the history of your life for the price of a greasy McDonald's burger? I just don't get it. You know, you keep eating those greasy McDonald's burgers, you're going to look like Larry Hogan, bald and bulging. And speaking of Larry Hogan, I think we've covered all the key points here, so it's time for a phone call. And again, I'm hoping this goes better than... Oh, hold on. There was one more point. His full name is Larry Joseph Hogan, which equals 78 like Scottish, right? Of course. What else? That said, let's get on here. And please, you guys, don't just let me make these phone calls alone. You know, other people need to be phoning in here. It can't just be me. We want to go, what's the number here? 410. Okay, so we're dialing 1-410-974. It's nice they get that in there. 3901. Okay, we're ready.
Office of the Governor, how may I help you?
Yes, could I talk to Larry, please?
May I ask who's speaking?
Yes, it's a concerned citizen who has some very important information for me.
Well, if you wanted to speak to the governor directly, you could submit a scheduling request request. However, if you let me know what was going on, I could probably help you out.
Okay, yeah, this is really important. So, we've had 3 mass shootings in 2 days. I'm sure you're aware.
Yes, watching it now.
Okay. Well, what's Larry doing right now?
At this exact moment?
Yeah, what's Larry up to?
At this exact moment, I'm not quite sure. I do know that he's trying to gather all the information he can and expect a statement in the near future.
Okay, I got some information for his statement. So,
Okay.
since 2013, I've been working on this research project. I wrote a book, and I'd be happy to send a copy for free to Larry about this book. It's very important.
I love that.
There's a chapter over 100 pages long on what's going on with these mass shootings. Okay. And literally, like every single one, and I'm not exaggerating, I mean all of them, the number 44 is so important. Are you aware of the language of Gematria?
No, I'm not.
So it's important to Freemasonry, and Larry might be a Freemason himself. I'm not sure. A lot of our government officials are. Of course, the Scottish Rite has their headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
George Washington was a Freemason. So anyway, they have this really important code that's a secret, because you know they're a secret society. And it's called Gematria. It's also pronounced Gematria. It's the practice of coding numbers into words. And you can go to every location where these mass shootings get reported, and it's the same thing. They always sum to 44. Always. So like Aberdeen, Maryland, where it happens today, 44. Yesterday, Masontown, 44. Middleton, 44. It's just always the same. And yesterday in Wisconsin, the shooting was 44 days from the governor's birthday. Today happens to be Larry Hogan's 44th month on the nose of being governor. 44. And like I write about in my book, it's just always 44 in every single one of these shootings, and it's always perfectly synced up with the governor. Same thing with Tom Wolf yesterday in Pennsylvania. It's always the same thing. It's like an impossibly perfect pattern. And, you know, yesterday the shooting in Wisconsin was at a place called Paradigm, which means pattern, you know?
Yes. Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's more too. The name Larry Hogan, if you just use the alphabetic order, L's 12, A's 1, R's 18, R's 18, Y's 25, so on, the name Larry Hogan sums to 119. So does Harford. And today's Larry's 119th day of being 62 years old. And he's, of course, I just want to make sure you see how well you know your governor. What number is he for governor in your state?
I'm not quite sure. What?
He's the 62nd. He's the 62nd governor. He's 62 years old. Let's spell the word Mason together. M's the 13th letter, A's the 1st, N's the 19th, O's the 15th, N's the 14th. If you add those letters together, Mason equals 62, kind of like the Masontown shooting yesterday. You see, Freemasonry runs this nation, and I'm not sure you're aware of this, but pretty much everyone in office is a Mason. You go drive around this nation and look at the police departments and the Masonic lodges. They're all right next door to each other. Over 90% of police are in Freemasonry, which is a fact. And it's just like, wow, you know, we got the feds on scene at all 3 shootings within moments. Where are the feds from? Oh, the same town where the Masonic headquarters are. The Masonic motto is order out of chaos. And I want you to think about Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And where's today's shooting in Maryland? It's at a Rite Aid, isn't it? It's at a Rite Aid. It's at a Rite Aid. All this depressing news pushed on us. All these people on pharmaceuticals, depressed, thinking they live in hell. All of this stuff is an agenda, man. All of this stuff is an agenda, and the man you work for is a part of it. That's what I really called in to tell you about. And I know everybody needs a paycheck, and everyone needs to get paid, but these governors, they're all sellouts. They're all tyrants. They're all traitors, and they've all done us in. Larry knows exactly what's going down today. It's no secret to Larry. And I appreciate, sir, that you stay on the phone and you listen, because yesterday I was explaining this to Scott Walker's assistant, and he just hung up on me. And I thought, wow, how rude. I'm dropping all this important knowledge, and he just hangs up the phone on me. So,
I'm here to listen.
What do you think about this?
I mean, well, it's not my place to give a personal opinion on this.
I get it, man. I get it. You got a job. You got probably a family to feed, a house to keep over your head. But if you would be so kind, I would love to have Larry's email so I can send him a free copy of my ebook. I'd like for him to read it and let him know that the people know, and the people are catching on to this game of selling out the American public for an agenda. I don't know how old you are. I was 18 years old when September 11th happened, and I knew something was wrong. I just didn't believe it. You know, a man in a cave, a perfect demolition of two buildings that had been foreshadowed with destruction from movies to comic books to TV shows. And I knew something was numerological about it. You know, 911, a national emergency. I started doing some research and I realized in 1968, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale in Skull and Bones, a Masonic order. I even noticed that from his birthday to 9/11 was 68 days, and I said, what in the world is going on with all this 68? Space Odyssey 2001 came out that year. I started looking at these things as an 18-year-old. It took me a while to figure out this code of letters and numbers, but ever since I figured it out, I realized that everything that's being done in this nation is orchestrated numerologically. And then I found out that the code was important to Freemasonry, and I just said, oh, look at that, our federal government. Freemasonry.
So me personally, I am not one. However, I did live with one, and he seemed like a pretty good guy. He was a family man. Just worked at a business.
Okay, so I believe you too, because there's plenty of Freemasons who are good people. Like, I even have Freemasons that follow my work that are totally good people. So it's not that all Freemasons are bad. It's that there's a network of them that are operating in high places, such as governor's offices and Oval offices, and they're doing these rituals by a code. I mean, ultimately what government comes down to is control. And all of these things help the government wage their agenda of control. Look at what's going on in this nation systematically since 9/11. We've had a loss of rights. There's more government surveillance. We've been at war ever since. I mean, who do these wars benefit? They don't benefit we the people, but they benefit the people who run the central banks who make all this money off debt and interest and lending. So this is the point of my work, to expose this agenda, to wake up enough people to it so that we can put an end to it. And, you know, I would really encourage you to look into this. I used to be a school teacher, but I'm now blacklisted from teaching because I've been speaking about this. And it's a real shame because I used to do good work for children. But we have to do something about the society. You know, you deserve to have a good job, and it would be great if you worked for a governor who wasn't invested in an agenda that is truly tyranny. And maybe you don't realize that about Larry. I don't know what kind of person he is like on the outside. You know, I've met some real slime balls in my life, but they have that really great personality. You think they're just the friendliest guys in the world, and I realize a lot of our politicians are that way. So anyway, the point is, we as a people who realize this is wrong, we need to take a stand. And if you research this and you find that what I'm saying to be true, which I know you will find it to be true if you research it, I think you should evaluate if you really want to work for a man like Larry Hogan, because these are not good people. So.
All right. Well, hey, look, I have this all written down too, so I mean, I'll do some research, and I will pass this along 44.
All right. I appreciate it. You have a great day.
You too.
All right. Take care. Holy smokes, was that guy amazing or what? In case you're new here, I've made a lot of phone calls. That was the most receptive person ever. And I don't know. Should we call Tom Wolf's office? Is this video getting a little bit long? I think we got time to call Tom Wolf. Yesterday he was closed. Tom Wolf, governor, phone number. Let's see. And this phone call could get a little bit redundant, but actually, let's get up the Tom Wolf notes too, just so I can make sure I give it to them all. Tom Wolf, Masontown. If you guys don't use my blog, it's like a encyclopedia of Gematria information. Oh, there was just so much with the Masontown. Thinking about Tom Wolf's initials too. TW 20 plus 23, 43. 47th governor. Yeah, that's enough. We don't need to go overboard with this call. But we'll see. We'll let them know that we see right through the Masonic riddle here with Tom Wolf. Okay, where's that phone number at? There it is. 717-787. You guys should be writing this down at home. You got phone calls to make too. Oh my God. Hung up on mid-call? They must have caller ID. I'm calling one more time. Must be on the federal block list. That last guy didn't get the memo. Hung up on again. Well, I'm guessing Tom Wolf's on my YouTube video. That's disappointing. You know what'd be great is if enough of you supported this work by either buying the book or supporting the Patreon or donating. Because if I had more cash flow here, I wouldn't be making phone calls. I'd be knocking on doors, you know, and I'd be real persistent. So, and that's the way this needs to be. And if there was enough cash flow, I could hire some people come with me. I could come with the entourage of Gematria truth seekers. We're not going anywhere until we get some answers. I bet you anything Larry Hogan was eating a sub sandwich and a big bag of Cheetos, you know. Living too comfortably. He needs to let them know, you know, he needs to know the fire's at the door. Big man's not going to be able to run anywhere. We run in circles around Larry. All right, truth seeker. Until next time.